So last weekend, it was the 2018 United States Grand Prix with 3 standout points. Firstly, after 113 races, Kimi Räikkönen took victory after an amazing drive. Lewis Hamilton was expected to win the Drivers' Championship but didn't. And lastly, an unexpected but hilarious moment occurred during lap 9 of the race.
Talking of which, the stewards have decided no further action. Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel. So, someone's doing some great impressions there of Formula 1 cars.
And ever since, fans have been sharing theories about who it might have been and how it might have happened, and today I'm adding to that list. So please bear with me until the very end because there's a lot to cover and I probably spent way too much time researching this when I probably could have done something better with my time. Firstly, let's debunk some theories that have already been shared. For example, it was Giedo because he shared a joke about it, or that someone had got into the commentary box and forgot to turn off their microphone. To explain why this wasn't either of those, I first need to explain how race sound is recorded. Around the racetrack, you'll find shotgun microphones in blimps, much like this one, which are covered by windshields. This is then fed into the main broadcast sound desk, which is then linked up to the camera's position. So when a TV director chooses a particular shot, the audio will then match the visual. And the reason why it's in stereo is if you see a car go from left to right, the audio will do the exact same with your speakers going from left to right. Now the reason it couldn't come from a commentator's box is that the pure race sound is given to different broadcasters to do their own commentary in their own native languages. Which is the reason why this hilarious sound is heard from different sport channels in different languages, because isolated on its own, it's from the pure race sound.
Pas d'acción pour l'incident entre Ricciardo y Vettel. Es que escuchamos más, quiero decir, ¿no? Vete tú a saber los demás.
Там был Ricciardo и Vettel, и никакого продолжения. Che gnau in sottofondo? Come fa la tua macchina?
So it couldn't have been from Giedo, which many fans thought it was after his post, but I think many people misinterpreted it as not being a joke, but being more serious that he actually did it. But it can also be from the commentary booth as well, because it was from the pure race sound. This then leaves the question of who could have done it and where did the sound come from? And this is where my theory comes in. As mentioned before, the microphones are linked to a particular camera, so when selected, the sound automatically comes through. And on this shot, it's actually on a helicopter getting awesome flying shots across the circuit. In some races, the original sound of the helicopter is used, but in this race, a dedicated microphone was linked to those flying shots, which leaves us with 2 questions. If we know the microphone was definitely trackside, then who could it have been and where was it? Well, firstly, it couldn't have been a typical fan who paid to come see the race. As I mentioned before, these microphones are trackside, which are normally attached onto the safety barriers, which is a restricted section for fans. Plus, microphones aren't placed in grandstands due to the fact that someone could stand next to it and say something inappropriate, so this rules out the fans. So if fans aren't allowed to be trackside right next to the safety barrier, who is allowed to be there? Well, you have the camera operators, but they all wear radio headsets which go back to the TV director, who they're in constant communication with, so this rules out the operators. You also have photographers, but they're there to constantly get snaps during the race, so this rules out them too. This then leaves us with the only personnel who are allowed to be there next to the barriers during the race, which are the track marshals. Now, to dig even deeper into this, at the time it happened, we saw on-screen graphics showing us how far apart the drivers were from the leader. By using this and then calculating what we actually hear in the pure race sound, we can then track what the guy was reacting to. The first reaction was to Daniel Ricciardo going past, then closely followed by Max Verstappen, and then so on and so on. And by working that out, then we can find out where they were on track when those noises were happening, which was turn 1. But we're not stopping there. By then looking through fan-uploaded videos who are at that corner, we can then verify that there were microphones down at turn 1. Then to confirm that even the marshals were there, in this photo taken by the awesome Glenn Dunbar, you can see them right next to the microphones. And there you go, a deep dive research into the smallest thing ever of who made the Neeow sound effect. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. If you are a motorsport fan and you enjoyed this video, then why not consider subscribing to this channel? You can do so by clicking the top annotation up there, or if you want to watch more videos that I've made, you can click underneath. But if you've got any more theories about who the Neeow guy could be, then why don't you leave it in the comment section down below. But thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.